Alright, hello everybody. I'm really bad at intros these days, so I'm just going to go ahead and say what I'm doing. I'm going to make sort of like a super secure vault with all kinds of traps and things you need to break into, and it's going to be super epic and awesome, so yeah. I'm also thinking I'm going to make this part 1 of the first ever incredible Henry Cat 2-part episode. That's a lie, I've done multiple part things before, but this week we're going to make the vault, and then next week I'm going to make some things to break into the vault, which I think will be sort of a fun concept, I guess. Now obviously the first step to any good heist is a good place to heist from, so I've built here like a bank, I guess. Here, wait. Boom, okay, now it's clear that this is the place we're doing the heist on. Now, this is not my best work. You can see I put a lot of effort into the entrance here. It's kind of generic, but still. Then the walls, it got worse as it went on, but whatever. This isn't the point. Now, obviously, the first step to improving our heist land is to make a nice door. And I feel like I don't want the front door to be too complicated, because if you imagine like a bank or something, usually banks don't actually have like an excessively secure and complicated front door. Usually that's further back. Now the thing is, if we're trying to make something that it can be secure without being like excessively complicated, really the only option is like an iron door. I mean, I don't know, I feel like that's moderately akin to what would be in a real bank, like just some doors that you can close and lock. The issue is, as you can see, iron doors require redstone, which, as everyone knows, is super lame. So, I don't know. I guess that's just what it is, and too bad. Now that I'm done complaining about iron doors and redstone, let's talk about how we're actually going to make these open, or close. So the way that I'm thinking these doors will actually lock is with this villager here. And yes, I know sort of my building is getting worse as we go on, but whatever. Basically, this villager here, I should give him a name. Alright, this security guard here, Greg, okay? He's the security guard. I said that already. And I think the assumption here is just that anyone sneaking into a bank vault is gonna go ahead and hit Greg, right? And so when Greg gets hit, that's when these doors are gonna close. And in fact, probably we'll have another set of doors here. And if you hit Greg, then both sets of doors will close. So yeah, I think all we have to do is go ahead and implement that. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a quick go. If we punch our friend Greg here, the gates instantly lock. So then the question obviously is, how do the gates open back up? And what I think would make sense is if basically they wouldn't open back up until whoever was sitting here like disappeared or went away or something. I don't actually mean died, I just mean left. I'm not sure how exactly someone would leave if they're locked in here, but let's just go with that. Okay, let's give that a go. We hit our friend Greg here, the gates close, and then if we pop into spectator mode and fly a little ways away, it decides, okay, I guess the cops got them or something, they're gone. We can open the gates back up. So actually, I would say that is working pretty well already. So I think the next step is I actually have to build up a slight interior. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to put very little effort into this. Alright, boom, low effort inner bank room is completed. Obviously there's nothing in here. I'm not really going to build anything in here. This is just like a fake bank, I guess, but it still has money. I don't know. Don't ask questions. Here is the place where I sort of want to have the biggest trial of breaking into the vault. And this is also the part where I am going to be bringing in the famous smooth motion, which is generally a massive pain to deal with, but really cool and rewarding. So, enough blabbering. What am I thinking? I'm thinking we're going to have the classic, if I pull up a painting, the classic, like, hidden painting. It's probably not going to be that big, but some kind of moderately sized painting, and you'll click on it, it'll swing open, and there will be a switch. You flick the switch, and then a hidden staircase will slide open. So maybe not especially complicated in terms of security, but hopefully it'll be really cool looking. Sadly, that idea is not going to work. I really wanted it to, because I thought it would be really cool, but sadly when you try to modify the data of a painting, like its rotation value, it does not work. I also even tried having the painting on an armor stand, and then sort of have that armor stand be the one rotating, but it seems like paintings are just fixed to the wall. which, if you ask me, is super lame, but what can you do? So, given that sad turn of events, I think the next best thing we can do is just ignore the painting smooth motion and just have it be like you click through the painting and you flip a switch. Obviously not as cool, but you know, sometimes that's just the way that it is. So, smooth motion rundown for anyone who hasn't watched my videos before. The premise of it is that rather than having actual blocks, you have like falling blocks generally, as well as shulkers for collision, because those you can sort of teleport along incrementally to make it look like they're actually sliding downwards. Now, in this case, the tricky bit of that is going to be we're going to have, I think, probably just 3 levels of different armor stands, which all have to be moving at different rates. And also there's the tricky bit, which is just smooth motion is always kind of tricky to set up. Alright, let's see if this general smooth motion concept is working. Spoiler alert, it probably isn't. Smooth motion is a nightmare. So if we run that, we have some blocks in the way, but actually that appears to have maybe worked first try. Are there any blocks in there? There are. That's why that was looking weird. So I'm just going to call that one A-OK. And now all we have to do is literally just copy and paste that exact command I was running in there. And then if we sort of click in just the right spot. Wait, you can't click through pictures. I am fairly confident all of a sudden, which is, it's kind of an awkward time to realize that fact. Oh well. You know, it works without the picture. We'll say that if you're breaking in, you have to tear down the picture or something. I don't know. But hey, for the most part, that is actually working fine, which is shocking and exciting. And so now we just have to throw in a few more challenges down here in the deep, dark basement. So down here in the vault, which I am just now starting to build, I want to have 2 more challenges. And the first of these challenges, I think, is going to be a real classic. It's going to be a sort of laser defense system. So I'm going to have a bunch of lasers, and if you touch any of them, you die. Here, by the way, is just the completed vault. I kind of like the end rods. I think that they add a nice sort of industrial light. Yeah, that's the end of my self-constructive criticism. I don't know. So real quick on how this is actually going to go. Basically, there's just going to be 2 components to it. There's obviously a visual component, which we're going to be using particle effects, somewhat obviously. And there's also going to be like a detection effect. And the detection I haven't set up yet, but it should be pretty simple, I hope. I guess we'll see. Now to do this, we're probably going to have to use like rectangular target selectors, which are something I never managed to get right, but maybe today. Hey, it does seem to be detecting it. It's a little bit off, I think. Yeah, it's detecting it a little bit before I get there. But, you know, maybe that's good. Maybe that means this is, like, impossible to get across, and it leaves room for our video next week for me to make some kind of, like, super cool tool to deactivate these wires or something. I don't know. Okay, well, that's still annoying as heck, but ultimately it doesn't matter. Right now, if you trip that, you fall in the void. Incredible. And much like before, I just made it so that if whoever it was goes far enough away, it closes back up. So I guess theoretically that would mean like you would fall and it would just open, or rather close up above you as you died. And really all that leaves is the final vault. And this thing is going to be really quite simple, but it's a cool thing which not a lot of people seem to know about or use, and it's actually very helpful, so I guess I'm going to show it here. So that super epic thing that I was describing, right, is here we have our chest, and it's full of all kinds of treasure, I guess. I had this in my inventory, so that's what the treasure is. But if I set up this one simple thing and then I try to open the chest is locked. Now, all you have to do to open it is to just have some item named with the password and then it will open. I mean, it's that simple. Like, why is this something that not more people use? I mean, I guess a lot of people don't really use command blocks, but still, I think it's really helpful. And so even though it's simple, I wanted to throw it in here at the end of our vault. So I guess, you know, this is normally the part where I would go through and open everything up and test it out. But, you know, as previously established many times, I'm going to be doing a video on doing that next week. And I don't mean like in that video I'm just going to go through and demonstrate all this. I mean, I'm going to try to set up some like heist tools, I guess, which, you know, one could use to break into like a different kind of vault. And yes, they will be specifically designed to aid with this vault, but, you know, I think it'll still be cool and helpful. So, you know, feel free to come back next Monday if you are interested in that. If you enjoyed this video, then like and subscribe, and yeah, and if you didn't like it, then leave me a mean comment telling me why you didn't like it, or a nice comment telling me why you didn't like it. And either way, I will see you all next week. Goodbye.